Good morning to everyone and welcome to economics class. In this class we are going to see the modern farming method and will the land sustain. So I heartily welcome you to economics class. I request to each and every one of you to have a notebook and a pen to copy down the important point. So let's move. Point number 1. Chapter number 1, the story of village Palampur. In that particular tour, we are on the topic number 5, where we are going to talk about the modern farming methods. We are going to see about the modern farming method implemented in agriculture field. Then the last topic we will see, will the land sustain? So here, first we are going to see about what are modern farming methods and how they are boosting to farming and giving a huge amount of production to the farmers. First, you have seen that one way of increasing production from the same land is by multiplying the cropping pattern. That means the multiple cropping pattern the farmers are adopting from the same land, they are extracting more production. From the same land, they are doing the mixed cropping and they are getting more crops. So on a single piece of land, they are growing different crops at the same duration of the time and they are getting benefit to increase their farm production. Next, in other way is to use modern farming methods. So what are modern farming methods? In that we are using the HYV seeds which gives higher yield of production measured as a crop produced on a given piece of a land during a single season. So the higher yield is going to be there by using the high yielding varieties of seeds. So here we are seeing about the other way is to use the modern farming method. In that modern farming method, first I stated to you, instead of using the old traditional seeds, now they will use about the high yielding varieties of seed, that means the HYV seeds. Next, so this is the photograph taken from your textbook and it speaks about picture number 1.4, modern farming methods, HYV seeds, chemical, fertilizer, etc. So here we are going to see about the modern farming methods. So these are the modern farming methods here. So modern farming methods are there. In that what we are seeing here. So modern farming method means using a new types of seeds, modern farming methods. Earlier the farming was done with the help of the ox and the bullock carts and everything was used. Now here the farm machinery, tractors is in there, diesel is there, canals are there, then pump set is there, electricity is there, dams are there for all irrigation purpose. Then pesticides we are using, then fertilizers we are using, and we are using the high yielding variety of seeds which are boosting to the production. Earlier, suppose the farmers was growing wheat on a piece of land of 1 acre. In that 1 acre of land, that farmer used to produce only 2 quintals. So in that 2 quintals, now they are using the HYV seeds. Now the production is 8 quintal. So with this help of the HYV seeds, so what will be there? The lots of production will be there. By using this, all the modern farming methods, the farmer is going to be in a beneficial situation. So what are modern farming methods? In the irrigation purpose, earlier farmer was totally dependent on rainfall. Now they are doing irrigation with the help of the canals, with the help of hand pump set, tube wells you can add. They are using electricity for this. From the dam, they are using all this. For irrigation purpose, now they are not dependent on rainfall only. So the modern farming method of irrigation. Modern farming method of plowing the land and to cultivating or harvesting, they are using modern farming methods. In the tractors, they are using plowing machines, they are using diesels, they are using. Next, the seeds, quality of the seeds they are using, which is boosting to the production, are called as the high yielding varieties of seeds. Then fertilizer they are using. These fertilizer are boosting to this plants and they are giving a good amount of harvest. Then pesticide, the pests are going to harm to the crop. So the pests are, to remove the pest, they are using pesticides. So by doing this modern farming, the farmers are in a much more better condition. Next, the modern farming method is clear to you. In the modern farming method, the farmers are using pesticides, modern irrigation facilities, machineries, good quality of the seeds which are called as HYB seeds and fertilizers. So by adopting all these methods, these are included as a modern farming method. Earlier pattern, you can ask to your grandparents, those who are having the agriculture plots, they will tell you about how they used to manage, how they used to, from the cow dung, they used to place as a manure in the field, how they used to use the traditional seeds. But nowadays, the farmers are adopting modern farming method. So I request to each and every one of you, this is your homework part, you have to draw this flow chart. Flow chart, why I am speaking, because you should not draw this picture, you should make a circle, in that make these arrows and write the name of the methods which are using the modern farming method. In that how pesticide is there, fertilizer is there, you have to draw. So this is your homework part. So modern farming method, the flow chart. The flow chart is speaking what? The flow chart is the modern farming method. In that machinery is there, modern irrigation facilities there, then pesticide, fertilizer and good quality of seeds. Next, till the mid 1960s, the seed used in cultivation were traditional in nature. Traditional in nature, homemade seeds were used in the agriculture field. Ones with relatively low yield, which used to give the low yield. Traditional seeds need less irrigation, so it is going to be opposite. The HYBS seeds are giving more higher low yield, so they are giving high yield. They are less irrigation, they require more irrigation. Next, farmer use cow dung and other natural manure as a fertilizer. All these were readily available with the farmer who did not have to buy them. That means in modern farming method, the farmer has to purchase all the fertilizer, pesticide. But here, when the farmers were adopting the traditional methods of farming, in that they are using the homemade manure, right? The homemade seeds they were using, and they are using the less irrigation system, and their crops are giving the low yield. Now moving towards the modern farming methods, boost to which crop and when and where. So in 1960, what has happened? So in 1965, the starting of the Green Revolution. So Green Revolution boost to the crop, two crops, rice and wheat in the northern state of India. So we are going to see this. So the Green Revolution in the late 1960 introduced the Indian farmer to cultivation of wheat and rice. Only the two crops are here. The two crops are wheat and rice. So wheat and rice using the high yielding variety of seeds. So high yielding varieties of seeds. So what is the full form of HYVS? So high yielding variety of seeds. So HYV seeds means high yielding varieties of seeds. Next, compared to the traditional seed, the HYV seeds promise to produce much greater amount of grain on a single plant. So here, on a single plant, it's going to grow more food grains. Then, as a result, the same piece of plant would now produce far larger quantities of food grains than was possible earlier. Which I stated to you. Suppose for example, in 1 biga, the farmer used to harvest the wheat 2 quintals. By using the HYV seeds, the farmer now is able to produce the 8 quintals. So from the 2 quintal, it's reaching to the 8 quintals. So there is a gap. So that gap is very high. The farmer is in a very beneficial situation by having a large amount of food grain production. Next, then this HYV seeds, however, needed plenty of water. As I told you that this HYV seeds require more irrigation, that means plenty of water, and also chemical fertilizers and pesticides to produce the best result. So higher yield were possible only from a combination of HYV seeds, irrigation, chemical fertilizer and pesticides. So here the modern farming methods, it's a compulsory to use the HYV seeds, good irrigation facilities, chemical fertilizer and pesticide. Without that, they are not going to give the high yield, right? Next, farmers of Punjab and Haryana, we are talking to the northern part of India, Punjab and Haryana, the two states, and the western Uttar Pradesh were the first to try out the modern farming methods in India. So I am speaking the name of the three states, Punjab, Haryana and western part of Uttar Pradesh, and what they are going to adopt. So they adopted the modern farming method on the trial basis, and what's the result? So the farmer in this region set up with the tube well for irrigation and made use of HYV seeds, chemical fertilizer and pesticides in farming. And the result was very surprisingly that the farm yield was too high in that two crops, wheat and rice. Some of them brought farm machineries like tractors and threshers, which made plowing and harvesting faster and easier. They were rewarded with a high yield of wheat. Next, in Palampur, the yield of wheat grown from the traditional variety was 1300 kg per hectare. So that means 1300 kg per hectare. With the HYV seed, the yield went up to 3200 kg per hectare. So see the difference here, 1300 and 3200. The drastic change by using the modern farming method, the modern seeds, the high yielding varieties of seeds. There was a large increase in the production of the wheat. Farmer now had greater amount of surplus. So what is surplus? Whatever they used to produce, out of that they used to keep some amount of food grains for their sustaining purpose, and rest of the remaining one there was surplus. They used to sell in the market. So here the surplus of the production is more. So they can sell in the market and gain more profit. Now here we are going to discuss about few points. So let's discuss what is the difference between multiple cropping and modern farming method. So here we are going to see about what is the difference between multiple cropping. Multiple cropping means what? On a single land, the farmers are using two different crops or more than one crop. They are doing cropping or cultivation of that. That are multiple cropping. In that they are using the traditional seeds and all. But in the modern farming method, they are using HYV seeds. Plus their irrigation system is strong. They are using insecticide, pesticides and other fertilizer. So the difference between multiple cropping and modern farming, that is in traditional in nature and that is modern in nature. The modern farming methods are adopted here, and in that only the mixed cropping is done to gain more production on a single land in a same duration. Then what is the working capital required by the farmer using modern farming method? Question is very simple. Working capital. So what's come in working capital? What is fixed capital? We talked and discussed in the first point where we were talking about the four factors of production. In that, land was there, labor was there, physical capital was there, and human capital. In physical capital, we divided into fixed capital and working capital. In fixed capital, there was tools, machines and buildings. In working capital, we were having the raw material and money in our hand. So here I am asking to you, what is the working capital required by the farmer using the modern farming method? For the modern farming method to adopt that, so the working capital will called as a money in hand. Because to use the modern farming method, the farmer want to purchase fertilizer. The farmer is going to purchase the machinery. The farmer is going to produce the pesticide, insecticide and HYV seeds. So all this purpose, the money in hand is also called as the working capital here. Without it, the modern farming method will not possible for the farmer. Next. The following table shows the production of wheat as well as pulses. In India, after the Green Revolution in units of million tons, plot this on a graph. Was the Green Revolution equally successful for both the crops? Discuss. So the answer we are going to see after seeing the particular table. So first we will see the table. This table is already given in the textbook. You can go from there, you can plot a graph and you can see. But for your understanding, I am explaining it so you can plot it and you can understand about it was equally successful or it was not. First, table number 1.2. Production of pulses and wheat in million tons. So production of pulses, it's here. Production of wheat, it's here. So from 1965, then we are talking up to 2018. Source is given here, Department of Agriculture. This is in millions ton. So here it was 10 million ton. So it moved to 12. Again 11, then 14, 11, 18, 18, 19, 17, 17, 23, 24. Right? But see here, 10 directly jumped to 24, 36, 55, 70, 87, 94, 96, 87, 94, 99, 97. So if we are seeing the wheat one, it's constantly increasing and increasing. But here for the pulses, that is 10, 12, 11, 14, 11 like that. So the question is here, once again I am showing to you, was the Green Revolution equally successful for both the crops? So the answer is no. For the wheat it was more successful and for the pulse it was less successful. And the reason why, maybe it's going to be the problem of irrigation, maybe it will be the problem of the seeds for the farmers, any economic situation we can have. Plot this on the graph. If you are plotting this on the graph, you will see the two graphs of the pulses and wheat, where the graph is increasing, right? And where the graph is constant, 17, 17. But here all the time it is 96, so 87. Again it jumped to 94, 99, 97. So the graph is being, it was a favor for the wheat production. Then next, suggested activities are there. So these are the suggested activity for you. This is from the textbook, so I am not leaving any single point of the textbook. All my PowerPoint presentation is totally designed from the textbook. So each and every word of the textbook I am capturing here. So without textbook also, by seeing this PowerPoint presentation, you can easily cover the whole chapter. Right? During your field visit, talk to some farmer of your region and find out. During your field visit, whenever you will get a free time, if you are going for a field visit to your nearby locality, you can find out when you are talking to any farmer, what kind of farming methods, so modern or traditional or mixed, do the farmer use and write a note. If you are meeting to any farmer in your village, you can ask. If you are only doing farming at your home, so you can assume about that these questions are in front of you and which will be the answer. So you can easily quickly get up if you are using modern farming method, traditional method or mixed cropping you are using. What are the source of irrigation? What the source of irrigation they are using, whether they are dependent on rainfall, tube well, canal system, dams or anything. Next, how much of the cultivated land is irrigated? Very little, nearly half or majority. So you can place anyone if you are taking a discussion topic with any farmer or in your family member if anybody will be there. So you can make it and you can have a tick mark and you can use this only. From where do the farmers obtain the inputs that they require? Whatever the inputs in the input, the modern farming method or a traditional method, whatever they are using in that, what the inputs they are inputting. So money they are using or the modern farming methods in the different implementation will be there. So all will come under inputs. So obtain the input. From where do the farmer obtain the input that they require? Seeds, fertilizers, then irrigation facilities. So many things they require for the cultivation of any crop. So from where they are inputs these they are bringing, so you have to make a note. Then, will the land sustain? This is the third topic is speaking. The farming in the village, Palampur. Will the land sustain after using continuously repeatedly modern farming methods and method? Will the land sustain? So it's a question. Please see. Land being a natural resource, it is necessary to be careful in its use. Scientific reported indicated that modern farming methods have overused the natural resource base. Overused. So, this land is going to be degraded. In many areas, green revolution is associated with the loss of soil fertility. As I was talking to you, the degradation of the soil. So, soil is losing the fertility due to excess amount of using of the chemical and fertilizer in the particular land piece. Also, continuous use of groundwater for the tube well irrigation led to the depletion of the water table. So, there is a decrease in the water level or groundwater level, because if we are adopting modern farming methods, we require plenty amount of irrigation facility or water facility should be very well. Next, environmental resources like the soil fertility and the groundwater are built up over the years. Once destroyed, it is very difficult to restore them because they require many years to recover. We must take care of the environment to ensure future development of agriculture. We are using modern agriculture, and in that modern agriculture, modern farming methods and all. But the land is going to degrade and degrade. So, for that purpose, this environmental concern not to harm the natural resources, because the soil will lose its fertility, it's very difficult to reback it. Plus, groundwater level is decreasing and decreasing and decreasing. Very difficult to making the water table to be up. So, here the degradation of the soil and the water level is going to down. Here are the serious topics. Are the cause of what? By using modern farming methods in agriculture. By using lots of chemicals, fertilizer, the soil is losing its fertility. So here, after doing 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, the agriculture of the same land by using modern farming method, that's the result. The soil is losing fertility, the water table is going down, and we are going to suffer in future. Next, so in this particular topic, what we had seen. So in this particular topic, we have seen about the modern farming method and when the land is going to be sustained. If we are continuously using these type of modern farming methods, the land is going to sustain or not, there is a question. So before doing and before using this modern farming methods in our agriculture, in a greed to earn more and more production, so the land quality and quantity is going to be there or not, we have to think upon them. So today your homework is there, you have to draw the flow chart of the modern farming methods, right? And you have to make a note of the important point which we discussed here. So here once again I am showing to you your homework part. This you have to draw the flow chart. Please make a note of it. Draw the flow chart of modern farming methods. Then next, this graph I told to you, on this particular, on the basis of this data, you have to draw the flow chart. So finally, I am thanking to each and every one of you for watching the videos, and I request you, whatever the points are there, please make a note of it, so there will be a continuity for understanding of this chapter. We are going to discuss this chapter's upcoming concept. Till then, you please read the chapter and be safe and secure at your home. And Jai Hind.